What makes a successful trader? The goal is that no matter what happens, when you walk away from this, whether or not you become a TradeMachine member, that you've learned something that makes you a better trader, no matter what. What makes a successful trader and the steps that are needed? I will show you a little bit of the sizzle before the rest of the presentation. Here is just a window into how TradeMachine looks and what's going on when it's going through backtests, applying its AI, and showing winners. This is through the entire NASDAQ 100, ticker by ticker over 3 years. This isn't about one stock, that one time, that one day. This is about 100 stocks over 3 years, over 500 times, and the returns. All right, let's get started. To be a successful trader, you need to focus on the long arc of a career, not like what happened Thursday, right? Not what happened on Monday, not what happened last week, last quarter, not even last year. I'm talking about the long arc of a career, years, even decades. Okay, it's a different perspective than how did my P&L go on Monday or Thursday. That's not what the long arc of a career is. That's how you give money away to the market. Okay, and you need 3 things. The first is process, which in finance we call a plan, and TradeMachine is built for this. It's exceptionally good. So what is a process? You know, great word. What is that? Well, it's what to trade, when to open it, and when to close it. And if you think about that, what I just said, what to trade, when to open it, when to close it, you could be thinking, wait a second, that's the only thing I need to be a successful trader, right? Isn't that enough? If I knew what to trade, when to trade it, and when to close it, doesn't that make me a successful trader? No, because we're human. If we were robots, yes. But as far as I know, I'm only speaking to humans. I'm a human. And so unfortunately, a process isn't good enough. You cannot be a successful trader for the long arc of your career without a proper process or plan. It's necessary, but not sufficient. So the second thing you're going to need, since you are human, is patience. And this is going to be easier for some people than others. Some people are naturally patient. You know who you are. Some people are naturally impatient. You know who you are. I am naturally impatient. This was one of the hardest things for me through my 25+ year career to overcome to become a successful trader. So this was a big one for me. For other people, it might not be. Know thyself. And the patience is in your plan, so in that process part, right, that first part, but it's also in yourself. Honor yourself. Respect yourself. It's not just the plan, it's having patience in yourself. And know thyself. Are you a patient person? If you're not a patient person, can you have patience in the process? Because if you cannot, that's okay. It's not a character flaw. It's just a character preference. So some people like skydiving. Some people don't. It's not a character flaw one way or the other. Just know your preferences. If you don't think you can have patience in yourself to build this process, then don't do it. There's other fabulous things you can do with your life, with your friends, with your family, with your loved ones, right? So this takes some honesty with yourself. Can you form patience, or are you patient? Just be honest with yourself. And the last part that's needed to be a successful trader is the one that makes people a little bit uncomfortable. But I promised you that I was going to deliver you value pretty quickly and totally irrespective of TradeMachine, and this is where this bullet point comes in. The truth of the matter is process and patience aren't enough. It's going to take effort. It's just going to take effort. There's a difference between people who like the idea of something and people who want to do it. So I like the idea of running a marathon. I don't want to run a marathon. Liking the idea, you know, if you like the idea of things, if you daydream about it a little bit, but you don't do anything to pursue that daydream. And that's okay. If we're not daydreaming and having happy thoughts, then why be alive? That's okay. Just understand that that's not what it takes to be a successful trader. You have to actually want it. And you know that you want something by your actions because you've daydreamed about it a little bit and now you're taking actual actions, explicit actions to pursue that daydream. So there's 2 parts about effort. I'm going to give you the bad news first and the good news second. The first part about effort, I'm just going to be honest with you, it will probably be harder than you think to become a successful trader. I'm just letting you know. If you're hoping for a webinar that says it's easy to become a successful trader, this isn't it. And if you see such a webinar, run screaming, they're lying to you. Okay? That's just not true. Okay, that's the bad part of effort, but there is a good part of effort. Since it will probably be harder than you think it will be, it's probably going to be more satisfying than you think it will be too. And that's just the nature of being a human. When we have to try really hard and it takes a great deal of effort and patience, as we follow our plan, it's actually far more satisfying than if we didn't require patience or effort to follow our plan. This is what it takes to be a successful trader. It's for you to decide if you want to do it. And again, it's not a character flaw if you don't. It's simply a preference. I don't like jumping out of airplanes. One of my best friends loves skydiving. Not a character flaw. It's a preference. Know thyself. Honor yourself. Do not go down this path unless this sounds like it's something you want to do, because unfortunately, this endeavor, trying to be a successful trader, is going to cost you money. And if you don't really want to put in the effort, it's going to cost you dearly. And it's not worth losing money if you don't really want it. It's really not. And it's not a character flaw. Know yourself, love yourself, honor yourself. This is the truth. No matter what you see on YouTube and the videos about how easy it is to be an option trader, it isn't. They're wrong. I'm right. They're wrong. And the truth of the matter is, somewhere deep inside, you know I'm right too. You know when you see those videos which say it's easy to be a successful trader, you know that's not true. You know it's not true. You know there isn't a magical machine that prints you money and you get to go lay on the beach and make millions of dollars. You just know it isn't true. There's something inside you that knows it's true. Listen to that voice. It's telling you the truth. It's your conscience. It's your intellect. What your intellect has been screaming is that it's not easy. And I'm here to formalize that for you. It's not easy because it takes a process, patience, and effort. All three. That's the long arc of a career. Okay? Now remember this for a second. We're almost done with the slideshow and we're going to get to TradeMachine. All right. So what do I mean by effort? It's one thing to say it's going to be harder than you think it will be, but it will be more satisfying than you think it will be when you overcome it. I'm still being kind of vague about the word effort. It starts with the idea of a portfolio of trades. Okay, well, what is a portfolio of trades? Colloquially, we know what a portfolio of trades is in finance. I'm not speaking colloquially now. I'm speaking specifically to you about becoming a successful options trader over the long arc of your career. I'm being very specific. There should be no ambiguity in what I'm talking about. If there is, I have failed. I'm trying very hard right now not to fail. I want to deliver value to you. So here's what we're going to talk about on this webinar. A portfolio of trades. There's something called spread the sell-off plus AI. Don't worry about it. It's a type of trade. Okay, we'll look at it in the tech industry and the financials. We'll talk about something called buy the sell-off plus our AI. We'll do it in the NASDAQ 100 techs, financials, and healthcare. It's fine. Those trades occur when a stock is in technical failure. It's going down. So what kind of market is it for the first two? It's when the market's going down, when a stock is going down. Okay, but what about when a stock has technical strength? It's not going down, it's going up. Well, then there's another kind of trade. It's a pre-earnings momentum diagonal call spread plus AI. Don't worry about the names and the words. Think about the scenarios. The first two trades are when things aren't going that well for stocks. The next trade is when things are going well for stocks. Okay, and we'll look at it in the NASDAQ 100 tech stocks, financials, and healthcare as well, and multiple time frames. Okay, we'll keep building out. And then the last thing is when a stock recaptures technical failure. So it's in technical failure, but it's the day that it has recaptured it. I'm loosely calling technical failure when a stock is below the 200-day moving average. So I'm going to talk about a day when the stock is below the 200-day moving average, and all of a sudden today it comes back up through it. And that's going to be something that we call fade the dip plus our AI. And I'll talk about the NASDAQ 100, financials, and healthcare. And then when something doesn't work, right? These don't work all the time, even if you have the right market. The market's going down, and you think, this should work. Not really. That's not how trading is. It takes effort. It takes a plan. It takes patience. And we'll look at this through multiple time frames. Okay, I'm just going to scrunch all these words together so it's a little cleaner, and I'll keep going forward. Okay, so what is this? What is this thing, these words I've written, these four trades, these different types of markets, a tumbling market, a strong market, a market that's recovering? This is a portfolio of trades. This is 3 different ways the market is moving. And even more so, while they're different markets, embedded in this is something that you may or may not know yet about option trading, but you will, is that the ones in green are actually selling volatility, which is a fancy way of saying you're collecting a credit when you do option trades. The blue ones, you're actually buying volatility, which is a fancy way of saying the trade is a debit. Okay? And all of them are always spreads. Okay? An option can only be hedged by another option. Rarely, if ever, in my career have I seen a successful trader the way I'm defining it, the long arc of a career, not a good week or a good Monday or a good Thursday or a good March. I'm talking about the long arc of a career. Rarely, if ever, have I seen someone successful at trading options if they're not spreading. Okay? Option trading is volatility trading, whether you mean it to be or not. So you might as well mean it. If this sounds really complex, it's not as complex as it seems. What you're feeling right now is that you're not familiar with this, right? This is not familiar to what you're used to, and you want to lean to what is familiar. That's what effort is. To see something that is not familiar to you, to know that on the other side there's something that is familiar to you, but to know somewhere in the back of your mind that the thing that's familiar to you hasn't gotten you to where you want to be. And that means you have two choices. Don't do it or go toward that which is unfamiliar. That is effort. That is the effort I'm talking about. I'm explicitly talking about this, about going towards something which you're not familiar with. That doesn't mean you won't become familiar with it, and that doesn't mean that it's even difficult, but it will take effort and probably will be a little bit more difficult than you think it will be, but it will also be more satisfying if you do it. Know thyself. Do you like the idea of being a successful trader, or do you want to be a successful trader? Both choices are fine. The only mistake you can make is liking the idea and then trying anyway because you don't really want to. That's how you'll lose a lot of money. And I don't want you to lose a lot of money. And I want you to note, I have not said anything about our software. I have not said anything about TradeMachine. I'm talking to you as an option trader, as someone who's been doing this for more than 2 decades, who's run a hedge fund, who's been a market maker, right? I'm not pitching you with software now. This is me hoping to add value to your life, irrespective of whether or not you hang on to this webinar. Okay. We also did this in different sectors. So that's what I mean by a portfolio of trades. This is what I mean by effort. Okay. What do you mean by effort? This is what I mean. By recognizing that something is unfamiliar, feeling that in your gut, saying, ooh, I don't want to do that. That sounds hard. That's right, it does. Now run toward it. That's effort. If you don't want to run toward it, it's perfectly fine. Your life will be fine not being a trader. But know it, honor it, and stop. Otherwise, you're going to be in the muddled middle, and you could lose a lot of money. And just losing money can affect your life in much more than monetary ways. You can lose family and friends. You just can. So be honest with yourself. Like, is this the effort you want to put in? If it's not, don't watch the rest of this webinar, and please don't feel bad about yourself if you don't. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a personal choice. Just be honest with yourself. Honor yourself. Love yourself. Ask yourself, do I want to put in this effort? If you do, this is going to be a great webinar. If not, you've learned something today, and go on with the rest of your day. Enjoy it. I hope it's a fabulous day, a fabulous week, a fabulous year for you. I really do. And if you're in pain, I hope the pain goes away. I hope it gets better. So what is this called? This different markets, different trade types, and spreads, and different sectors in this portfolio. Just generically, what is this called? Well, it's called a thing that anyone who's actually been a professional trader will tell you is the single most important step in trading. And it's not making money. It's risk management. It's risk management. The reason we do these things is because we're properly managing our risk, which allows us to move forward with our plan such that we can be successful traders in the long arc of our career. That's what this is. And if you believe you can just click a couple of buttons, get something on YouTube that has a great alert, it's just not real. And you know it isn't real. There's something inside you that knows it isn't real. Trust that voice. That's your intellect. That's your intellect saying, hey, there's no way that's real. There's just no way. So, just to be clear, we're about to get started, but I'm not here to show you how to click buttons on TradeMachine. I am a little bit to show you, but that's not the ultimate goal of this. I'm here, you're here, to see why clicking those buttons on TradeMachine matters to you. I cannot do it without the beginning. This preamble isn't just for fun. It's the guts of trading. And if you don't understand or want to pursue the guts of trading and don't understand what it entails, then it doesn't matter what software I show you. It's not going to work. We don't make false promises. We never will. We share facts A, B, and C. We share analysis A, B, and C. And we share conclusions A, B, and C. That's the long arc of a career. Change your perspective to thinking about things like this, to understanding that it will take a process. It will take patience with that process, and it will take effort.